Hey, what's up, everybody? It's WODU Studios, the best in college radio, hosting KBR Sports, the best sports talk show of your 24-hour day. I'm your host, Brennan Abbin. To my left is my co-host, Rashad Pinnell, and to my right is my co-host, Khalid Lewis. We're wishing everybody a good morning and early happy Thanksgiving because everybody's about to soon go on break for Thanksgiving. We know we are, definitely. So we won't be on Thursday morning from 10 to 11, but we will be on the following week on Tuesday and Thursday. So if everybody turns on at 10 a.m. is wondering, hey, where's KBR Sports at? We're gonna be eating some turkey now. That's what we're gonna be. We're gonna be grubbing
early Thursday morning.
Yeah, of course.
Turkey and cinnamon buns, bro.
Cinnamon buns.
The cinnamon
He ain't lying though.
The cinnamon
lying.
rolls is always there, bro. It's
Yeah.
a tradition.
He ain't lying.
It's like the peach cobbler.
What?
It's like,
Wait,
what?
You know how like everybody else has the peach cobbler? Well, see, you had to have the peach cobbler. You gotta have
sweet
to
potato
have
pie, my man.
Nah, man.
He
You
said
gotta
the sweet
have the, you
potato
gotta have the
pie.
cinnamon roll that you gotta bake yourself. You know those swirly junks. You
Yeah.
gotta put ice on yourself.
Yeah.
It drips off the side. It gets stuck on the bottom. That's what you want. That's what you want. Get that.
You're all diabetic.
Yo.
You're all diabetic. This man's dreaming about the eyes, and he said, "Oh, the way it just
Instant high blood pressure.
yeah." Cholesterol.
It's Thanksgiving, bro.
You're right.
That's-
You don't
They
care
don't
about
care.
it.
That's the ultimate.
No
cheat day.
repercussions.
Yeah,
That's the ultimate
goes.
cheat day.
It all goes to the background. You don't even care about it. Like your body is just disregarded on
You
Thanksgiving.
can't do this.
Exactly. But speaking of Thanksgiving, we're going to talk about so many things. We're going to talk about like the Thanksgiving Day games actually, where the Cowboys are going to be playing the Panthers. You know, you have a whole host of games, and we're going to also be talking about the matchups on Sunday because this is a big week of games where two undefeated teams could possibly go down, where in the Patriots and the Panthers. And then we'll also be talking about the Patriots and the Bills from last night's game and what ramifications that game has on both teams. And then we'll go into whether or not the Panthers can stay undefeated because now, you know, they played great all season, but now they're going to play a Cowboys team that has Tony Romo, who's picked up momentum. So we'll get into that. And then we'll also talk about Ohio State. And after their first loss, it seems as though the team is unraveled a bit with Ezekiel Elliott, you know, kind of coming out and putting the coaching staff on blast, and him and Cardale Jones, you know, putting out their intentions to declare for the NFL draft. So we'll talk about all those things today. But starting off, we'll talk about the Patriots and Bills, where the Patriots won last night 20 to 13. My fault, 20 to 13. It wasn't exactly the same surgical procedure that Tom Brady dissected them with last time they played, but he had a pretty good game against them, and this is a Bills team that everybody was feeling kind of uneasy about this game because one, the Patriots without Julian Edelman, and then two, their line has been so sketched. They've had 20 different offensive lineman rotation matchups, like all different kinds of blends, like. They had an offensive lineman who just last week played left tackle, who was playing right tackle this week. So is there so many different things they've been doing with their offensive line? And then you also have the injury they suffered to Deion Lewis, who they had the very first time these teams played. So a lot of people were kind of iffy on this game. They're feeling that if the Patriots are going to lose a game this season, it was going to come against the Bills. But then it turns out the Bills ended up prevailing. The Patriots ended up prevailing. Sorry. But what do you guys think about the game? And what it means for both the Patriots and the Bills. Now that the Patriots remain 10-0, and then the Bills, they fall to 5-5, and virtually are in a virtual tie almost with the Jets, but lead them in the division. And now it makes the wild card race even more of a toss up because nobody knows, because the Bills had a 1-game lead on the Jets, but now the wild card sits between the Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So what do you guys think it means for both teams? Rashad, we'll start off with you. What do you think this means for the Patriots and the Bills, this big game that took place last night?
All right, so me personally, I don't think it means much for the Patriots, but what it does mean, it means that they have a chance to clinch the division either next week or 2 weeks from now. So that's very early for them to, clinch the division. That means they can start resting people, make sure they're healthy for the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But at the end, I don't find that as important because it's next man up for the Patriots. They play next man up. Whoever comes in, like, look, do two touchdowns, first two of his career.
James White.
Yeah. So I'm like, it really doesn't matter who Tom Brady's on the ball to now. But the Bills got cheated. They got robbed because you don't know what happened in that last play if he would have got out of bounds.
I have an argument.
Okay.
I have an argument to that. The Patriots technically got cheated.
They did
because on that inadvertent whistle. So either way, I mean, we could say Bills got. I mean, the likelihood that Hail Mary would have got completed.
But you never know. It's the
NFL. But I mean, it's the NFL. But we saw that Danny Amendola on that inadvertent whistle. He had open field, and he still had Rob Gronkowski down the field blocking for him against a cornerback. And I'm saying Rob Gronkowski blocking because I don't know what happened with the Bills defense on that play. I mean, I guess everybody got scared of Tom Brady rolling out, scrambling. So then everybody kind of ran up to Tom Brady. I can't even say it seriously, but they ran up to Tom Brady scrambling, and then everybody was out of bounds. And you had Danny, like legit, when they showed it on the ESPN cameras, there was like 70 yards of open space for Danny Amendola to run with nobody there. And I mean, he's so fast, nobody would have caught him. Mm-hmm. So it's like you most likely. And if he scores there, you mostly got the Bills don't get field position because then the Patriots don't. Steven Gronkowski doesn't miss his field goal attempt, so the Bills don't get good field position. They ultimately don't score, and the game, the whole game shifts from being 10-10 to being 17-3.
But that's like that was kind of wasn't that a little earlier in the game?
No, it was like third quarter.
Third quarter. Right?
I'm just saying that's just another big play that we could say, hey, because.
But I mean, we understand that's a blown call on the on the Patriots, but everybody's talking about this whistle. I mean, there's no play, no stop of the play.
They're talking about both.
They are talking about, but mainly when it goes to when they say bad officiating, we're looking at that play.
Because if the Patriots would have lost, see the reason why we're talking about both plays, the reason why they're talking about the Bills because the Bills lost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you see, it's different if the Patriots would have lost. The officials would have got ripped. Yeah, because the Patriots. We gotta continue real quick. But yeah, also, but the Patriots would have got ripped. The officials would have got ripped in favor of the Patriots because say the Patriots don't say the Patriots or the Bills score somehow, game goes into overtime, Patriots lose. Mm-hmm. Then everybody's gonna be like, well, the Patriots should have had a touchdown. That's why the Patriots fans were so blown because technically Danny Amendola should have scored on that play. But yeah, let me get to Khalid real quick. Khalid, what do you think about the game and what it means for both the Bills and the Patriots?
Well, what it means for the Patriots, basically, the Patriots can now lose like 5 games and still be in the playoffs because even if the Bills win 6 games and they tie with the Patriots 11-5, mm-hmm. the Patriots going to win the tie because they beat them twice. So they'll definitely take the division with just one more win. The Bills now they're going to have to fight really hard to get more wins than the Pittsburgh. Well, yeah, to either get more wins than the Pittsburgh Steelers and to try and get into that wild card ahead of them. I think it kind of put them and the Jets in like a shaky situation because now the Jets and the Bills are fighting for the wild card race against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that apparently seem to be in the hunt. And I mean, the game yesterday, I mean, it's not like the Patriots came out and just owned the Bills. Yeah, because I mean, when you look at the total, like the stats versus one another, Patriots had 18 first downs, Bills had 16. Total plays, the Bills ran 68, Patriots ran 62. Total yards, the Patriots had 356, the Bills had 319. And the Bills had more rushing yards while the Patriots, of course, had more passing yards. Mm-hmm. And the Patriots suffered more from penalty yardage than the Bills did. And the Bills had more time of possession. So the Bills had their chances to win the game. It's just, I mean, there were times, especially after you saw what happened with Tyrod Taylor's shoulder. I don't know if what's going on with his shoulder, if he has a hurt collarbone because he was at that near like in the fourth quarter around the 3-minute mark where he got pushed and then he stumbled down and landed on that shoulder. He was favoring it the whole game and then or the rest of the game. But then you kind of wonder why wasn't he pulled out if he was favoring that shoulder and then if that's hurting him. Apparently Rex Ryan said that he wouldn't have kept Tyrod in there if he felt as though Tyrod wasn't going to be, wasn't good enough to help the team. But essentially, it seemed like some of the, I mean, he had, even before he had got hurt, Tyrod Taylor had missed some throws to his receivers. Like, and then the level of, like, what do y'all think about how involved Sammy Watkins has been in this offense? Because he only had 3 receptions yesterday for 39 yards, and he's supposed to be their star receiver. Yeah, and there's so many plays where you see in the offense, like, the leading receiver is Chris Hogan with 6 receptions at 95 yards. And he had 7 targets while Sammy Watkins only had 6.
See, yeah, I'd actually see. But when you have only like 5 or 6 in the box and you're stopping the run, which the Patriots did yesterday, it's hard when now you focus attention on Sammy Watkins because you know how much of a threat he is. You have extra coverage over him, extra like you know what I'm saying. It's a spotlight on him because when 5 and 6 are in the box only, so you have your 3-4 down linemen and then 2 linebackers stopping the run.
Mhm.
You can pretty much play a dime package against them and stop the run. Then it's hard to give someone like Sammy Watkins the ball. Now his targets, you can't really say much about that because that's not Sammy Watkins' fault. Because we've seen plays, Sammy Watkins do get open. It's just Tyrod Taylor don't hit him. So I mean, can we look at that kind of like his quarterback play or not enough time?
No, I look at it.
Or is it or the running back not helping out?
No, running up.
Yeah, say what you're gonna say, Colin. Because I think LaShawn McCoy,
Yeah,
they didn't
LaShawn
really stop
McCoy.
LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah. He really came through here 20 attempts and then 82 yards.
Yeah, so he was averaging 4 yards a carry. So I mean, if you're giving it every single play you're giving to LaShawn McCoy, he at least gets you 4 yards.
But you got but some of those plays he had kind of like break runs, you know.
His longest run was 27 yards.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean
10-yard, 15-yard runs are huge. Because a lot of his plays he was getting stopped at like 1 or 2 yards, and then that forces them to pass the ball, which is why they wasn't getting points. That's why they were
huge, but why is the running back getting more targets than
when you have
your star receiver?
It's a check down route.
LaShawn McCoy had 10 targets.
Checkdowns.
I mean, they're checkdowns, but
that's kind of like when Brandon Whedon played at first. Remember we broke our record for most completions. All those were like pretty much checkdowns. Nothing was over 10, 20 yards. Where Sammy Watkins would have been something like that. Where like a Des Bryant for us would have been, or a Terrence Williams would have been. It would have been to like Lance Dunbar or Jason Witten, somebody up close. Sammy Watkins goes further up the field, and then most of those are checkdowns. And if you ain't got time, you hit your check down route because you want.
Yeah, because it's quick and you want to get a completion.
You're worried about getting turnovers because you know you can't have turnovers against the Patriots, so you throw checkdowns.
But even the Patriots themselves, who are known for their short passing, Tom Brady only had 3 targets to his running back, to James White. He only had 3 targets.
James White isn't like Deion Lewis. Think about what Deion Lewis plays.
I know, but I'm saying, but Tom Brady still his targets. Damian Amendola still had 12 targets, 9 receptions. Rob Gronkowski has 7 targets, or he only had 2 receptions, and Brandon LaFell had 8 targets for 4 receptions. So Tom still got the ball out to his receivers more than he did to. Because I mean, isn't that one of the Achilles heels of the Bills offense? You got these names and these players that you think are such skilled players, and then you're not capitalizing on them because you're resorting to such low play offense. I mean, I'm not saying that anything's wrong with, but Tyrod Taylor was only sacked twice last night.
But he was rushed a lot.
And Tom Brady was rushed more than he was.
He was.
So you're telling me he had the time.
And Tyrod's more scramble, more mobile than Tom Brady.
So he had more opportunities for the offense to get off.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, we understand that Tom Brady can make those plays, but you got to think about this Tyrod Taylor we're talking about here.
It is Tyrod Taylor.
He's not the same type of player.
He's not the same as Tom Brady, but he also, I mean, there has to be a point where you you can't just say he's not Tom Brady. You have to hold a player accountable. He had time in the pocket and he has a scrambling ability, and that's when these quarterbacks, like the mobile quarterbacks, are most dangerous. Like him, Russell Wilson, Michael Vick, all those kind of guys are most dangerous when they're outside the pocket. And then he sometimes chose to scramble. And and these receivers know how to get open when you're scrambling. And there were times that they show Malcolm Butler did a good job on Sammy Watkins, but there were throws that Tyrod missed on Sammy Watkins where he beat Malcolm Butler straight on. He underthrew or Sammy Watkins on some play. Yeah, you know, and there were plays that you're just like, well, he could have got a big completion for Sammy or something, but then he resorts to LaShawn McCoy. And LaShawn McCoy dropped some key passes also that were, you know, easy. I mean, some of them, granted, were in like the last few minutes of the game, so he might have dropped them in order to conserve time, because if he catches them and he gets tackled inbounds, it runs too much clock.
Think about that fumble they had too, like the clock when they play clock. That was the referees took their time to place the ball down. That took 15 seconds. Which play are you talking about? After they fumbled and they recovered it after Tyrod Taylor fumbled on the sack. And he fumbled the ball, but the offensive lineman recovered it. I think when they set the ball, the clock, they didn't stop the clock. They was like, you can't stop the clock because even though it was a sack fumble, you got to keep running the clock. The referees took their time.
No, the referees set the. But remember, they showed Jay Gruden and show the Bills, and this is one of the reasons why people are saying the Bills aren't at that level yet at the Patriots, because Jay Gruden even commented saying about how the Bills, there was problems with the Bills headsets. And
Jay or John?
Oh, John Gruden. Yeah, my fault. But he was noting how there were problems with the Bills headsets, nothing to do with Patriots Patriots Stadium, nothing. It's just that the Bills have had this problem all season.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, they were having technical difficulty. And he was even saying that the Bills have to be better about their late game clock management. You have to have plays ready for this. And then you see Tyrod Taylor just looking at the sideline like what are y'all trying to tell me to play? And yeah, you know what I'm saying? So the referees, even granted, they took their I don't know if they because most of the time I couldn't see the referees. I saw because the Patriots players were smart in the fact that when the fumble happens, you have time to just sit on top of the ball to see who recovers it. Mm-hmm. So then the referees have to take the time to see who recovered it, and then obviously the Bills recovered it. But then Tyrod Taylor doesn't do his job of getting the team set up and ready to go on the line of scrimmage to hike the ball quick enough. So that's another thing that shows how the Bills are just not that team yet. And they do seem to have offensive weapons that go well with that coincide with their defense. But when you can't maximize the potential of those offensive weapons, then they're just there as relics. But moving on from the NFL, we'll go to college football. Talking about how Ohio State lost to Michigan. Michigan State. They lost 17-14 on a late field goal with time expired, and it kind of garners the question: was Ohio State overrated? Because there's so many games this season where Ohio State didn't look like the team that went on to beat Wisconsin, that beat Alabama, and eventually went on to win the championship from last year. But people were giving them that championship nod or giving that championship status just because they were the champions, so they were respecting them and they were undefeated. But then when you actually look at the quality of some of their games that they played, you're like, well, were they overrated? And then you start to see dissension in the locker room when Ezekiel Elliott comes out, and he did apologize for his comments. And as Urban Meyer went on to say when he addressed it, he came to see me. He's great, and he apologized. Urban Meyer said he's been a good student, he's loyal, and he's selfless, and it's just been an emotional week. Obviously, we don't condone that, and we don't encourage it. So pretty much surmising about how Ezekiel Elliott went on about the coaching staff and the play calling. He said that this was Ezekiel Elliott's exact comments. He said, "I deserve more than 11 carries. I really do. I can't speak for the play caller. I don't know what's going on." He went on to say, and this is per Dan Wolken of USA Today. He went on to say that the coaching staff didn't put us in position to win, and that's via Rick Pizzo of the Big Ten Network, and that's a team in Michigan State we should have beat. So do y'all think that this loss kind of has sort of, kind of ruffled the feathers in the Ohio State locker room? Because, Ezekiel Elliott wasn't lying. This man's a Heisman candidate, and yet you only get him 12 rushing attempts for 33 yards. And JT Barrett leads your team in rushing attempts with 15, who's their quarterback. So do y'all think that, Urban Meyer kind of coached his way out of his team into losing this game? Do y'all think it's on him? And then what do y'all think the current status of the locker room? Khalid, we'll start off with you. What do you think?
I do think that excuse me. I do think that the play calling did have a lot to do with it. One of your star running backs in Ezekiel Elliott, and he's only getting 11 carries during this game, and he, like you said, he's a Heisman candidate. He's supposed to be going off right now. He's supposed to be making big plays, and then you can't get the ball to him as many times as he should. I do understand that he definitely needs and deserves as many carries as he should if he plays at such a high level. But I do think that this team is a little bit overrated. They definitely lost some pieces from last year because they lost Tim Beck. Who they lost Tom Herman. So they lost Tom Herman, and he was replaced by Tim Beck. And not to mention, they got all this tension in the locker room. Their offense is dissipating a little bit, and then the people are pointing out all these wrong offensive play calling and all this criticism in the locker room. I think it did ruffle the feathers, and it's kind of definitely shaking up the foundation of the team, and making Ohio State look kind of very sloppy.
All right, let me ask you one quick question before I get to Rashad. So how much of it do you think it falls on the shoulders of Urban Meyer? Because think about it. It doesn't seem like there were really any complaints out of the Ohio State locker room until they lost. So do you think it really was a big deal in the locker room, and how much do you think that goes on Urban Meyer in the loss, and then how just how the seems like right immediately after the loss, Cardell Jones and Ezekiel Elliott declared for NFL. Like, what do you think about that?
I think that it does have to Urban Meyer does take some of the blame for this, but I think this loss definitely. Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
Definitely allowed Ezekiel Elliott and
Cardell Jones
to like speak out because they have like a reason to like speak out about how they're feeling and stuff like that, and they kind of want to shift the blame over to Urban Meyer a little bit. But I mean, it does have something to do with the play calling, but also you gotta work with your team better, and like y'all can't have this tension in the locker room and stuff like that. And then you want to just put it on the shoulders of Urban Meyer, and you gotta take some of the blame of yourself.
All right, what do you think, Rashad?
One, this team isn't overrated. They had close games even last year when they won the national championship. So how can we sit here and say a team who was undefeated, who's defending national champions, undefeated, and lost a close one to Michigan State, who's actually one of the top teams for the BCS playoffs? So, well, they were. So how can we sit here and say they're over it because they lost to a good team 17-13 17-14 by field goal, when, like you said, they didn't give Ezekiel Elliott the ball, who is one of the top 3 running backs in the nation right now. They didn't give him the ball. Quarterback, we've seen the quarterback play this whole year has been wishy-washy. Neither one has been great, to fully be the complete starter between Cardell Jones and JT Barrett. They lost Devin Smith, who was our star receiver last year, so that took a lot of big plays away. But they had Braxton Miller, but Braxton Miller isn't as aggressive as Devin Smith was as a receiver. So they're not overrated. Their weapons aren't as strong as they were, but they're still not overrated because they were still undefeated until they lost the games to this Michigan State team, which if they didn't lose, they would still be in the BCS playoffs. Basically, they'll still be number 3 possibly behind Alabama and Clemson. So no, I can't say this team's overrated. And for Cardell Jones and Ezekiel Elliott, I think it's bad for the locker room for them to declare now after a loss. But at the same time, frustrated players, I mean, basically they know their college playoff chances is over. So now it's just playing for a bowl game, which basically in their eyes is a failure of a season. You know what I mean? Because you're defending national champions, your expectation to make it back. Anything less than that is a failure. So in their eyes, they failed. So, but I don't think this team is overrated.
All right, so let me from the perspective of those who think the team is overrated. This is what some will say when they kind of will make the case of the team being overrated. Because I mean, some of their wins, like they had a close game against Indiana, 34-27.
But if you look at that, they were Indiana was 3-1 at the time.
They beat Illinois, they beat Minnesota. It's just people are looking at the quality of their ones. Yeah, they were undefeated, but some people are looking at the quality of some of the teams they beat and are like, well, hey, I mean, if you look at, Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana, Western Michigan, some people will say that a good portion of their wins came against teams that are here.
But can you do the same thing with last year's schedule? They didn't play anybody really either that year, but no one really said anything about that. Maybe it's because they're champions now. But look at this is last year. They lost to Virginia Tech, an ACC school. That's normally known for good football, but lately hasn't been that great. They played Cincinnati. They blew them out. They blew Maryland out. They blew Rutgers out. You see the teams I'm naming? They won in overtime against Penn State, which is actually a good program. Michigan State, they actually won by more than a touchdown last season. Minnesota, Indiana again, and then Michigan, like they always play.
Yeah.
So you see, their schedule wasn't as strong as it was. Well, their schedule is the same basically as last year as this year. So why can we can't really say they had an easy road? I mean, yeah, but some of those games they struggled. They clearly see they struggled here too.
You got something to say?
Yeah, I want to make a comment. What Rashad was talking about. It's also what he was saying. He said that because they're champions now, they definitely held to a higher standard. And and if every game they blowing out the team that they're playing, people gonna think, oh, they're not as good. as they were back then, or they're not really the championship team we thought they were.
But it's not always about blowing a team out.
Exactly.
Sometimes you're
No, he's going to. He's saying
Yeah.
he's leaning the way of your case. He's saying that the reason why people are saying it's overrated because they're not per se.
They're not blowing out teams like
But
that.
what I will also say to you guys on that point is, you guys got to also realize last season they were playing with backup quarterbacks. That Braxton Miller got hurt, so people were giving Ohio State, slight because they were like, oh, well, you're playing with JT Barrett, and then JT Barrett gets hurt, and then you end up playing Cardale Jones in.
Yeah.
So they're giving it, but this year they had all their horses healthy, all their quarterbacks healthy, ready to go,
But it's still,
and then they still
basically the same thing. I mean, technically,
it's not.
they're still backups.
I mean,
No,
they're not. They're
yeah,
technically.
yeah.
But I mean, Cardale Jones started at one point. Then you start JT Barrett. I mean,
yeah.
they all could be starting quarterbacks, and but we only saw that they all could be starting quarterbacks after Braxton Miller got hurt last year, and then JT Barrett came in and played. Then he got hurt, and then so on with Cardale Jones. But now that this year comes in, you're like, okay, you guys have all these weapons. So now that people know what your team can do and they see what your team has the ability to do, they're like, oh, you have all these weapons. You have Cardale. You have a running / passing quarterback in JT Barrett / Cardale Jones. Cardale Jones gives you the deep ball threat, all this. JT Barrett gives you the running threat and all that. And you still have Braxton Miller, who was a Big Ten offensive player of the year candidate, I think, a year ago. So you have them, but then you see the offense has been very underwhelming this year. And I mean, granted, but they also have stripped away, because Ezekiel Elliott isn't getting as many carries as he was last year.
He was a big factor of everything they did.
He was, and he's not getting as many carries as he was last year because they've been putting the ball in the hands of their quarterbacks who were supposedly supposed to be these great star quarterbacks. And now that when you see the offense isn't performing, people are like, well, maybe they were overrated, because when you see the quality of some of their wins, people are wondering, because when you have to make a quarterback change in the middle, because that was one of the reasons why people were kind of wondering how Urban Meyer was going to handle this whole 3 quarterback thing. I mean, obviously Braxton Miller goes out to become a wide receiver, but then you still have JT Barrett and Cardale Jones, where sometimes you're playing like what is the thing with the slot machines that you just like in and out. I can't, but you're inevitably you're pretty much putting one quarterback in for you're putting one quarterback in first half, another quarterback in second half, and you don't really let any quarterback get comfortable in their flow route. JT Barrett has been the captain of this team. I mean, I'm pretty sure that not starting the whole season can affect your play, because I mean he didn't start until about halfway through the season. So when you put him in that position, then you keep putting him and Cardale Jones, pulling him in, both of them in and out. And then when JT Barrett gets suspended, then you're forced to put Cardale Jones in. You don't really build continuity with your team. So many people were like, "Oh, this offense isn't what we thought it would be or what it could be." And then it's like, then like Rashad said, Michigan State is a good team that they lost to. But then a lot of people are wondering, well, was their undefeated record, also a quality of, or also a factor of some of the teams they played? Whereas last season they got the benefit of the doubt because they actually were playing with quarterbacks they weren't exactly experienced with. But going on from college football, we're going to go back to the NFL, talking about Peyton Manning, who reportedly after this season still believes he can play football and still wants to play football, even if it's not for the Denver Broncos. Even though there have been reports by Bleacher Report that have stated that GMs are saying that if Peyton doesn't play for Denver last year, there wouldn't be many teams interested in him. So do y'all think that Peyton Manning should still be looking to play another year in the NFL after what you've seen from this, after you've seen what's transpired this year and from last year? Do you all think that he should and can still play in the NFL at a high level next year? Rashad, we'll start off with you. What do you think?
Yeah, he can still play. He still makes. He's had bad games. He's had a bad season, basically. But it's still Peyton Manning. He still sees defenses how he's supposed to. He still brings that mentor leadership into your locker room. He still makes people better. It's kind of like how Brett Favre was. Brett Favre's arm didn't give out really on him. He didn't have a neck surgery like Peyton Manning did. But yeah, Peyton Manning should still play because he still is a quality quarterback. And what if the Broncos get rid of, I think we'll start Brock next season? There's not really that many dominant quarterbacks in the league, right? I mean, in college football right now for you to draft anyway. So if you don't go Peyton Manning, who you gonna go? Because this dude Brock ain't gonna do it. Ain't gonna cut it. So yeah, he can play another season. He can finish this season. He can play next season, and then maybe talk about retirement after that. He has a good one more year in him.
Okay.
With the Broncos.
Kyle, what do you think?
I think he can finish this season, and I'm not too sure about next season because he is getting into the last year of his 5-year contract, and I think he's asking for like 19 million for the last year or whatever. And I think the Broncos is kind of like iffy with that because since Peyton Manning isn't producing as much as he should, and he isn't looking like the Peyton Manning like they want him to look like. Plus he's injured and he's getting older. They're like, should we really pay this guy this much money to keep him on the team and he's not producing as much as he should?
Mm-hmm.
And like you was talking about earlier, the teams being kind of iffy about picking him up because of his age and stuff like that. So I do think this year he can probably finish off pretty strong. And next year, if he does play, I don't think he's going to be playing at a high level like Rashad was talking about, or he may get on a team, but I don't see him playing like an old Peyton Manning.
Okay.
I have a question for you, Brendan.
Okay. Go.
How do you feel about Kobe playing another year? No, you don't see Kobe playing another year. It's because his numbers are too low.
It's just because he's not the player that he needs to be to help this team win. But if he wants to stay on this team,
but he can still put up at least. I mean, if his shot selection, is better,
they're not winning.
But that's not the player Kobe Bryant said he wanted to be.
He didn't want to. I understand that. Kobe says he can't play in the league if he's under a 20-point scorer.
Mm-hmm.
But if his shot selection get better, without let's say Kobe starts shooting efficient in the second half of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Peyton Manning didn't get hurt, foot didn't get injured, and his touchdown to interception ratio becomes higher.
Mm-hmm.
For both of those players, could you see them play another year? Even though Kobe doesn't want to play if he's under 20, Kobe averages 18, but he shoots 60% from the field.
You said if they weren't hurt?
If they weren't hurt, because think about it, they both will get healthy. Kobe has a more chance to get more injured than Peyton Manning because you can rest Peyton Manning for long. Like there's a week a game, one game a week, and you get more rest. Kobe, you got to play, back-to-back nights sometimes, but most time he gets his rest. But his rests aren't as long as Peyton Manning, so he has a higher chance of getting re-injured again. But Peyton Manning doesn't. So I'm trying to say both of those players, people will still want them.
Are you sure Peyton Manning doesn't have a higher chance of getting hurt? Because I mean, that's football, yo.
It's football, but think about both of his injuries have not been from football plays, really.
I mean, the quadricep last year was a football play.
Okay.
From the Rams when we sacked them, that was a football play.
This year.
And this, I mean, the torn plantar fascia,
that's his foot. And then his next surgery, that's just happened to be overextended time of playing.
Yeah, because next surgery is a result of you getting thrown out to the ground.
But it wasn't from that. It was just from a collective buildup.
I know, but I'm saying, but he has wear and tear on his body.
Yeah, I understand that. Just like saying Kobe has wear and tear, but Kobe can go out and injure himself by the means of other people and stuff more so than I feel Peyton Manning can. So Peyton Manning doesn't really get injured from sacks more so, I would say.
But I'm saying the likelihood, I feel like, of a basketball player getting hurt
would be lower.
Is lower than Peyton Manning, who people are coming to try and lay hits on you.
Yeah.
And lay licks on you. And
but see, I do I get that. But what I'm saying is
I get what you're saying
Peyton
about
Manning
Kobe.
He has a higher frequency.
I get what you're saying with the rest and stuff. Because Kobe, but I feel like now they've been managing his minutes in a way that he doesn't play the back-to-backs. Granted, they do play more games in a week than football players. But also, Peyton Manning's probably feeling more sore than Kobe Bryant is at the end of the week.
More so. But I'm saying Peyton Manning's injuries aren't usually from sacks and stuff.
But I'm saying, but also what's core. This the fact of the matter is they both. I wouldn't want Kobe Bryant to play another season if he's not playing like the Kobe Bryant that he wants to be playing like. Not you don't want to be a player on the court that is just legit a player on the court that's just filling a position. Yeah. You're expected to be the player that's getting paid that money. And Peyton Manning, I mean, his 9 touchdowns, 17 interception season hasn't looked like Peyton Manning. And Peyton Manning is supposed to lead a team to a Super Bowl. Like the Broncos started out the season, they won about 7 or 6 straight games without losing. 7 or 6 straight games without losing, but nobody still picked the Broncos to go to the Super Bowl because of Peyton Manning. Nobody picked them. Their defense has been better than they've ever been, and yet nobody would pick them. They still picked the New England Patriots because Peyton Manning doesn't look like the old Peyton Manning. And even if he didn't get hurt, people still aren't going to pick them because he doesn't look like he's the old Peyton Manning. He looks like he's lost arm strength. He's like even granted, like you said, most players will not have the same mental fortitude that Peyton Manning does, NFL IQ as Peyton Manning does, but Peyton Manning's body, there's sometimes things that your mind tells your body to do, your body doesn't capitulate to. So I wouldn't want him to play another year. I mean, granted, Peyton Manning's better than a lot of quarterbacks in the league. Let's not get it twisted. He's better than a lot of quarterbacks in the league. But the only issue is he's not as good as what the Broncos need him to be.
So you don't think any other team in the league will want him?
No, I'm not saying any other team. The question is, do you think he can and should still play?
I think so.
I don't think he should still play because I don't think you want to be a quarterback just on a team. At this point in Peyton Manning's career, what championship team is going to be like, hey, just come play for the Packers got a team. I've got a quarterback. Patriots got a quarterback. Whether Panthers got a quarterback, whether team Pittsburgh's got a quarterback. All the team, Cardinals got a quarterback. Seattle Seahawks got a quarterback. Every team
got a quarterback.
Every team
if you go to championship team, you better throw them in there.
Right now they ain't looking like the championship.
We are championship. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Every team that you would say, hey, needs a only team that you can say that needs a quarterback are the teams that are the middle tier teams or teams that are on the low end. Right now, the 49ers looking for a quarterback. You want to tell me Payne wants to go play for 49ers?
Of course not.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Broncos.
No, but that's the question. Will the Broncos still want damaged goods? That's the question. And Brock Osweiler comes in. Oh, I had his stats pulled up. Let me see. Brock Osweiler comes in, and he throws. He completes 20 out of 27 passing attempts. Those for 250 and has 2 touchdowns with no turnovers. So then, I mean, granted, it's a very small sample size of what you see from Brock Osweiler against the Bears.
That's just like the undefeated Matt Hasselbeck right now.
No, but I'm saying, if you have a quarterback, if you have a quarterback that's playing better than your quarterback, and granted, this is the difference between Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck is younger than Peyton Manning. You know what I'm saying? So if Andrew Luck gets hurt, you're like, okay, he can bounce back better than Peyton Manning can. And this came out of Andrew Luck's thing has been he still passed for a lot of touchdowns. Granted, his interception, his turnover rate has increased over the course of years, but hasn't just been one big splotch. Here you go. Yeah. Peyton Manning wasn't the same Peyton Manning last year that he was in 2013, and that's why people were still questioning that now. This year he was going to be the same Peyton Manning, and he hasn't been. So now you see Brock Osweiler coming. People are like, inevitably the Peyton Manning era is going to end, and somebody's got to take the torch from him. And if you see Brock's producing now, that's why they announced that he's going to start, even though Peyton Manning said he can go. And that's the question: when are you going to say that Peyton Manning is 100% ready to go? That's the question, because he ain't 100%. But he told the coach weeks ago, "Hey, I'm ready to go," and then he put up that 4 interception performance. Like you see what I'm saying? Like you're telling your coach you're ready to go. Like when is Peyton Manning actually going to be 100%? That's the question. Like it's kind of like the Derrick Rose thing. We don't know if you're ever going to be fully healthy. But the difference between Derrick Rose, Kobe Bryant, and Peyton Manning is the fact that Peyton Manning and Kobe Bryant are older. Derrick Rose is still young. You know, Andrew Luck is still young. You know, Andrew Luck was just drafted 3 years ago. You know, Peyton Manning's what, 38, 39? You know, this is an old dude, and you're in a very violent league, and these guys are paid to hit you. And so when you're not producing, and you have the best defense you've ever had in your career. Like the Broncos defense ranks top 5 in almost all categories. So when you have that good of a defense, then
your offensive what you call it, cornerstone. Well, the cornerstone of your offense is lacking like that.
Yeah, and that's why
the Broncos are kind of hesitant about keeping them in.
Yeah, and that's why Gary Kubiak was trying to move the offense away from Peyton Manning, because he didn't want him to be more susceptible to hits because he's sitting in the pocket longer. But it's going to be kind of like the Wes Welker thing, because there's plenty of people probably said Wes Welker shouldn't still play, but then he got picked up by the Rams. If a team, even though Wes Welker's been concussion riddled, there's always going to be a team that wants you out there if you can play. If you can play, a team's going to want you. But the question is, can Peyton Manning still play like a team wants him to play? Because if you're going to tell me you're going to just throw him out there and you're going to get me 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions, I can go find a quarterback and do that any day of the week. Now, he's completed about 60% of his passes, but 9 touchdowns to 70 interceptions ain't impressive.
It's just a bad season.
But
you can't expect them to have the same season every year.
No, you can't expect. No, but a bad season. You say a bad game. You can't say a bad season. A bad, especially when your last season
9 touchdown passes.
And it's not like. But and then they bring in Vernon Davis. Granted, Vernon Davis ain't been there long. He did lose Julius Thomas, but you got to sit there and look. You sit there and you say bad season. Okay, not a lot of when you're a quarterback like Peyton Manning, you don't get the bad season excuse. Now when we talk about somebody like we talk about somebody like Teddy Bridgewater, Phillip Rivers, Nick Foles. Those guys aren't the top tier quarterbacks like Peyton Manning is. Peyton Manning can't have a bad season when you're on a Super Bowl team. You can't say you can have a bad game, but you can't have bad seasons.
But you took one of his best weapons away from him.
You did.
And you brought in somebody who wasn't like Vernon Davis is, like you said, he's old as well.
But here's the
old.
But here's the thing. But even when you take away Aaron Rodgers has lost his best weapon.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers lost his best weapon, but he doesn't. But he hasn't had. But yeah, he's lost 3 straight. But he also doesn't have that defense. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have that defense at all. Peyton Manning has that defense. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have any. Peyton Manning still has Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas.
We see what happens when teams lose their best threat. What's the name? What happened when the Patriots just lost Julian Edelman?
And they won.
But they won 20-13. Their points went from 30 plus points to 20 points.
But they also played a great defense. We can't ignore who you're playing. They also played a great defense. Peyton Manning,
the Bills' defense, passing defense is awful.
But they was rushing Tom Brady more than
they rushed him. The whole game. Tom Brady was on his back, and then when you don't have and think about it, these guys are stepping in to fill in roles that Tom Brady lost Danny Amendola within in the beginning of the fourth or end of the third quarter. Right. So you still have to, and you granted when you lose a player in the middle of the game, you don't get time to get accustomed to playing without that player. So Tom Brady still had a great game without Julian Edelman, who's his top receiver, then Danny Amendola, who's arguably his second best receiver. I mean, count Rob Gronkowski didn't have a great game, yet they still won. Right. The Broncos have been winning in spite of Peyton Manning, not because of Peyton Manning. Whereas the Patriots win because of Tom Brady, the Packers win because of Aaron Rodgers. Even though Aaron Rodgers doesn't have James Jones relatively disappeared and then reappeared against the Vikings this past weekend, and it's because of Aaron Rodgers. He helped him reappear. I mean, you got to sit there. It's like. The Broncos are a great defensive team, but you gotta sit there and look at it like even though he lost Julius Thomas, you still do have Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. Those are still guys you play with over the past years, and they are still great receivers. Whereas Aaron Rodgers has been doing his thing with Randall Cobb, James Jones, and without Jordy Nelson, and without a good defense, and he's still been doing his thing.
But see,
and
when you see people like that. We can't sit here and act like Randall Cobb's sweet, because Randall Cobb was actually nice for them.
No,
Randall Cobb was actually the primary receiver.
But what's happened?
Jordy Nelson was there. But then he had that one decline season where Jordy Nelson exploded, and that's what happened to Randall Cobb. Kind of.
But the thing is, but Randall Cobb still hasn't proven to be. Even in the Vikings game, he had like 4 or 5 drops that were easy passes, and this. But we can't go off. We can't go off. We can't. Drops. Tyler Eifert
for the Bengals when they lost their game.
Yeah,
he had a huge drop, but we can't say he's a bad tight end.
No, but I'm saying, you gotta look at the season. You gotta look at the season production. Randall Cobb hasn't been great for the season production.
He has no help no more.
No, but I'm saying, but that's making my case. Aaron Rodgers is making this helping this team still win with the lack of help. Randall Cobb, just because Jordy Nelson isn't there doesn't mean you can't do your job and get open. Or Aaron Rodgers will find you. Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders are still doing their stuff, and Peyton Manning's struggling to get them the ball because he doesn't have the same zip on his arm, and he's throwing interceptions. So I can't give him that excuse that Aaron Rodgers has with the lack of. Aaron Rodgers is still being productive. He's not throwing 9 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. He just carved up the Vikings, and his line wasn't even helping him out. Aaron Rodgers at the time was making great plays. He made a great play to James Jones in the corner of the end zone, rolling out of the pocket. It was a beautiful throw. And I'm looking at Peyton Manning, and I'm like, I mean, your defense keeps y'all in the games. Your defense is one of the highest scoring defenses in the league.
But as Peyton Manning, you're supposed to be producing the offense.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like you're supposed to be the captain that takes the offense or keeps them at that high level of play. Nobody's expecting them to be the same offense that went against the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl where they get dusted. But they did get crop dusted, man. It was bad. But nobody's expecting them to be that same offense. But I mean, y'all at the same time, you can't be so as ineffective as you've been. So that's why now everybody's like, well. Time to Brock and roll. People have really been saying that.
Brock and roll.
I'm done. Yeah, Brock and roll, bro. I'm like, wow, that's it's catchy. It's a little bit catchy.
It's light.
It's light. It's light like that headset.
Don't sleep right now.
He said, "It's like oh,
you yawning."
But going on from the Broncos and their situation to going on to a undefeated team in the Panthers, who started out the season 10-0, where if you ask people before the season, would you see the Panthers going 10-0 in this season? People probably would have laughed at you, especially from the season they had last year. So now you're looking at them, they're 10-0. They have one of the best defenses in the league, and Cam Newton's playing on an MVP level. I mean, you could ask the question. You think the Panthers could go 16-0 because this. Let me pull up the remaining schedule.
Cowboys.
Rashad has a face. It's probably because they played the Cowboys this week. That's why he's
Cowboys,
like
Saints,
he's
Falcons,
like 16-0.
Giants, Falcons, and Bucks.
Oh well, you did it for me. There you go. See, so yeah, those are the teams they play. So you're sitting there. They out of those games, they have 3 divisional games. Actually, no, 4. Four divisional games. But they're playing the Falcons twice. Play the Bucks once and play the Saints once.
And the NFC Championship game next week this Thursday.
He said the NFC Championship game this Thursday. So the question can be asked. Khaled feels some way about what you had to say, but the question can be asked. Y'all had the Panthers going 16-0. Khaled, we'll start off with you. What do you think?
I don't think they're gonna go 16-0. I mean, they gotta play. Not even New Orleans. I'm not even gonna worry about New Orleans. They gotta play Atlanta in Atlanta, and I know since that is a divisional game, that's gonna be kind of a kind of wishy-washy game. I do think that they may only lose like 1 or 2, but I do think they can sweep like most of the rest of the teams. Well, not sweep them, but like knock them out. But they'll definitely finish with a very great record, better than we've ever seen.
Where do you see them finish? Well, okay, if you wait, hold on. If you see them losing, where do you see them losing at?
When they play the Falcons. No, yeah. When they
Which
play
time?
The Falcons. The first time.
Okay. Rashad, what do you think?
But you said, the Saints. You can't really worry about the Saints, but the Saints is a divisional game too. So I mean, you can't really disregard them as nothing. And we see Drew Brees can torture teams.
The Falcons are better than the Saints.
The Falcons are trash. The Falcons are trash.
Better than the Saints, though.
They're still in the wild card right now.
They are in the wild card. They shouldn't be there at all, though.
So what team should be there? At the Falcons should. I mean, they won games to be there.
Well, the whole NFC is looking rough right now. But every team is trash.
Every team trash.
Every team is trash.
Then what the AFC looking like?
Bro, when the Jaguars are in the hunt at 4-6, that means you're trash. This whole season has been full of trash teams except the top teams. Now let me go back to this Panthers. One, the Panthers are about to lose this weekend, this Thursday on Thanksgiving to the Dallas Cowboys because Tony Romo's about to torch them. That defense ain't gonna be ready for Tony Romo's offense. Our defense is gonna be ready for Cam Newton because this Cam Newton's offense, like you were saying, Brendan, is not as productive as it should be. It's mainly their defense. So we're about to expose that defense. Cam Newton's not known for putting up a lot of points, except against the Redskins because they're trash.
I think you're slick. You operate just like Skip Bayless. You say part of what I say, and then you try to use it. Just like you said, Brandon. Just like you said, the offense ain't productive, but the defense. You try to be slick. You think you're slick with it. Let's note that I also did say their offense is one of the best rushing offenses in the league. Let's not forget. Let's not forget that I said that. And they also have one of the MVP candidates. I said their offensive passing game hasn't been the best.
And we have one of the MVP candidates too. Tony Romo's MVP. He's an MVP candidate. He is in. If you look at MVP candidate, he's in there. He's look it up. He's in there. Not even playing.
What?
Not even playing.
Wait, what?
Not even playing. Because what goes into this MVP this season is because we see how he's played without him.
You can.
Do you have holy water?
Do you have? I'm not even throwing out no reckless stuff right now. I'm being for real.
I think he's possessed. I think we have to legit we might want to back up 10 yards.
But he was speaking in tongues.
You done yet?
Y'all done yet? That's not tongues, bro. Tongues is holy talk.
Y'all done yet?
Holy talk. I don't know what that was.
Man was speaking backwards.
Y'all done yet? Anyway,
we tongues, bro.
we see that. We see that they went 0-7 without Tony Romo, which reports that he's probably the most valuable player in the league. Because when he's not there, they lose. When he's there, they win. 3-0 with Tony Romo there. So anyway, we have an MVP candidate. We have one of the top rushers in the league. So what's that different other than their defense? But our offense is better than their offense.
Say NFC Championship.
Yeah, because the Cowboys. I am forgetting about the Cardinals, but the Cardinals got to go through what's the name? The Cowboys more than likely, and I can't. It's hard to pick someone against the Cowboys because the Cowboys are so great. So,
First, I'm gonna need you to be non-biased for just 1 second.
The Cowboys were supposed to. Cowboys predicted Super Bowl before Des Bryant and Tony Romo got hurt. So why can we not say they're Super Bowl when they're now here? Why can't we not say they're gonna go to Super Bowl when they're both here now? If we win this division,
because then
what's stopping us?
You're garnering on the Giants just losing every game.
And then Giants got to do is lose too. We beat the Giants when we had our starters. They beat us when we had no Romo.
Win the rest of y'all games.
We'll have to win the rest of our games. All the Giants got to do is lose 2.
They got to lose 3 actually.
No, we have the top. We'll have the tiebreaker. Yeah, we have a better division record than they have.
And if you want to talk about total offense, actually, the Carolina Panthers are better in total offense than the Cowboys.
We have a better offense. Come on
now. I'm just saying that.
But look at the games we have. Tony Romo. We missed him for 7 games.
I'm just saying.
You can't look at that stat.
You said they got a
better offense.
I'm just saying. They got better. They have a better rushing offense. They got a better rushing offense.
You got it.
And Tony Romo wasn't there
for 7 games.
You're right.
That's a season. That's a season stats, Brendan.
It is.
That's the season. We were trash without Tony Romo. Everybody knows that. I'm a Cowboys fan. I know that. Every Cowboys fan across the nation knows we were trash with no Romo.
I'm just saying they still are ranked better in total offense. You said y'all have the better offense. I'm just saying they're ranked total better.
Stats not always right. Stats are not always right.
How did they get their stats?
Stats are not always
right.
Stats are not always right.
You like Charles Barkley. Analytics is overrated.
They are.
Analytics is overrated.
They are.
Analytics is overrated.
Because when 2 of your star players are hurt, for Dez Bryant for 4 of them, Tony Romo for 7 of them. Offense is going to be a huge decline.
So, I mean, I guess Kelvin Benjamin being hurt don't matter either.
Kelvin Benjamin no Dez Bryant.
But, I mean, he's still the
Kelvin Benjamin no Dez Bryant.
But don't gloss over it now because, I mean, he's the star receiver for the Panthers. He's all that Cam Newton has along with Greg
Greg Olsen became great because of it.
And then the Cowboys still had Jason Witten.
But we didn't have Tony Romo, Brendan.
I know. I'm just saying.
That stat is invalid. It doesn't mean a thing.
I'm just saying that
stat doesn't mean
they also have lost. They also have not had. Cam Newton's been playing at a great level.
We're playing without 2 of the best offensive players in the league. You're playing without Kelvin Benjamin, who's good. Not even great yet.
Kelvin Benjamin, that even is a testament to how great Cam Newton's been playing because he's been playing without practically any weapons. And they're still the leading rush. They're still better rushing team than the Cowboys. And the Cowboys have a better offensive line.
But think about it's easy. You stack the box. You have Brandon Wheaton. You have Matt Castle. You stack the box and stop them out. Jeremy Fadden.
But I'm saying you can stack the box, but their team, the people stacked the box last year, and they still
and
they had a better running
team. No, they're losing this week. If the best they can go is 15-1.
And who's that lost to?
Brendan.
I didn't take him seriously when he said the Cowboys. So I had to ask again. But I know honestly that Cowboys actually could beat the Panthers and all. They could actually beat the Panthers. I don't appreciate you disrespecting Cam Newton as it. Because I mean, this man has passed for 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions on the season, 2,283 yards. Completion percentage is 57%.
Cam Newton's good. Greg Olsen is great. I can't take that from them. But their offense isn't better than the Cowboys' offense when Tony Romo and Dez Bryant are there.
But you have to
look better. But you got to think about 7.
You got to still think about the defenses too.
Their defense is good. Our defense won't be on the field. Our defense is average. That's good enough.
So a great offense in the Carolina Panthers.
They're not.
I say all right.
All right.
I'm done. He said great. I'm done.
I'll say all right.
Okay. All right. All right. Offense.
Great.
I'll say
all right. Offense against an okay Cowboys defense.
All right and okay, the same thing.
All right.
Next topic.
All right, slightly more.
Next topic.
He seems blown. I think you've blown him a little bit over there. So you guys both agree that they'll finish 15-1.
No, I'm saying that's the best. I don't think they'll finish 15-1.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, that's the best one finish 15-1. But I do think they might lose 2 games.
They have too many divisional games left. I like the Panthers. Don't get me wrong. I love them. I want them to go 15-1. I want them to go 15-1. But I mean, this is not.
I would like if they win.
Okay, and for what team are they most likely to lose to on their?
The Dallas Cowboys.
What teams are they most likely?
I'm not even being biased.
They're most likely but most likely gonna lose to the Cowboys and the Falcons.
Yeah, Brendan, come into the season. When you saw this game on the schedule, did you understand?
No, honestly no, because I feel like last year you ever seen a team with talent that underperformed,
which was that whole division.
It was that whole division. I thought it was the Panthers last year. So this year I didn't. If you asked me if the Panthers go 10-0, I wouldn't say they go 10-0. But if I saw this game on the calendar for this year and I knew everybody was healthy for both teams, now I didn't think the Cowboys' running offense was going to be
as good as it is.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I didn't. If I saw it, I would have leaned more towards the only reason why I'm even contemplating this game is because of the fact of the matter that Kelvin Benjamin's not there for Cam Newton. And then
Tony
also
Romo's back.
because of the fact Tony Romo's back now, but then also he still has to play off his rust. I mean, he did throw 2 interceptions last week, along with 2 touchdowns. So I mean, you still get accustomed back into your offensive flow and everything. But but if there's a team I would say that they could lose to, is definitely the especially on the big stage on Thanksgiving. I would say that it's definitely the Cowboys. But the only thing with me is the Cowboys defense. They've been like, it's like some games they come to perform very well. But then some games they come and they just like, and it's against teams that you wouldn't even expect sometimes. I'm just like,
bro, what about the Eagles?
Think about the last 2 teams that actually did something honestly against us. Was the Falcons when they were good.
I can't say when they were good because
they decimated us in the second half. Because you got to think about how how the Falcons been.
Can we still say the Packers are still? We still say the Packers are still good. So we can't say the Packers when they were good. I mean, it's just the Falcons. It's just the Falcons because we can't say the Packers.
I want to say when they were good. The Falcons decimated us in the second half. We saw that. We gave a lot of second point, and then the Patriots. Pretty much every other game we just couldn't.
I think the Saints put up they put 28, 20, 30 something, 28 points. I think.
How much? You sure?
Yeah, because they scored on that late touchdown in overtime.
Oh yeah. But see, like, think about it. It took an overtime. Imagine we had Tony Romo or something like that game.
I'm not saying the Cowboys. I definitely agree.
Yeah, definitely been on the field as much for them to give up.
I think the Cowboys. If Tony Romo's healthy, the Cowboys are winning the division right now.
Of course.
But I just don't going into this game. I just don't know how well they perform. So it's wishy-washy for me, but. We'll going on from the Panthers and their possible 16-0 season. We'll go on to predictions. So, guys, give me your predictions real quickly for the
week 12
for week 12 for the Thanksgiving Day games. Panthers, Cowboys. You already know you got the Cowboys. Who do you think, Khalid?
Panthers.
Okay. Packers, Bears. Who?
Packers.
Redskins, Giants.
Redskins. Kirk Cousins is about to torch that offense.
Okay.
Torch that defense.
Colts, Bucks.
Take Colts, Bucks.
The Bucks. Jameis Winston's.
I give it to the Bucks.
Vikings, Falcons.
Vikings.
Cardinals, 49ers.
Cardinals.
Why do I even think that?
Steelers, Seahawks.
Pittsburgh.
Steelers.
Okay, and
no. I'm picking Seahawks because Steelers are trash without all the weapons.
Okay, Patriots and Broncos.
You said Patriots and Broncos?
I feel like you skipped over a game.
You did.
No, I didn't.
What my Jaguars at?
No, I'm just talking about actual.
What my Jaguars at?
Patriots and Broncos.
Patriots,
yeah.
Okay. No, I wasn't going. The Rams is
Oh yeah, you didn't.
And we know the Jaguars.
You didn't say,
yeah. So,
but
that's gonna wrap it up for us, y'all. We hope everybody had a great morning this morning. Like we said, happy Thanksgiving to everybody going into this Thanksgiving break.
Eat a lot of food.
Eat a lot of food. Watch a lot of football.
Cinnamon rolls.
Disregard repercussions to your body.
Yeah. Remember to follow us at KBR_sports and to subscribe to the KBR Sports YouTube channel where you can see past shows and past segments on there. And remember, we will not be on this Thursday due to Thanksgiving break. But all right, everybody have a great day.